Hopefully everyone can see my screen share right now. What I have pulled open is our test version of the Comptroller Services portal. Everything in here is fake data created by our development team to test the system and push through new builds. But this is a general home screen for all customers logging into the system. The customers themselves, they can see their 55 total inquiries they've submitted. There are 45 that are currently in progress, 10 that have been completed, and 2 that are currently saved as draft, waiting to be submitted. Over here on the right-hand side, we have the knowledge graph, which I referred to earlier. This is where they can get more information from their finance office on certain pay-related areas. If they want to get more information on budgeting, they can click budget, and anything that's tagged with the category budget will automatically appear in the knowledge graph dropdown. They can also search using text capabilities. So if we type in like the depart, you'll see like Department of Defense gets highlighted and pulled up to the top here. So the keyword searching is great for customers, especially in the DoD. There's a lot of complicated financial matters. That way customers can come in here, search their knowledge graph before they actually submit their inquiry. Down here on the bottom left, we have a calendar. So this is where the finance office can post out whenever they're having briefings or training events for their local populace. So if they want to train them how to use the new travel system, they can post it out to the calendar, and it actually gives a start time, end time, location, and a short description of what the training is. Over here in the middle, we have an announcements area. You'll see there's no announcements currently posted, but if their finance office wants to post an announcement saying they're going to be closed for business on a certain day, they'll be able to post that as an announcement with an expiration date. So that way they don't have to go and delete that announcement. They can just drop off at a certain date. If I scroll back up to the top, you'll see we have points of contact, policy memos and guidelines, quick links, and Q&A. So very similar to the knowledge graph, calendar, and announcements area. Customers can log in and get more information from their servicing finance office. Customers will be able to search their inquiries as well. So if they type in the search bar and type in BAH and hit search and go back to their total inquiries, they'll see everything that has BAH will be found in the title up here at the top. If customers want to go update their profile, they can click on the profile button and open up their user profile to make any updates here. So if they recently changed bases or something like that, they can make changes to their profile directly here. But we'll go ahead and jump into creating an inquiry. So customers, they'll see the create inquiry button here at the top, follow them everywhere they navigate on CSP. So we'll click the create inquiry button. And while that loads up, you'll notice on the left-hand side, my profile information will automatically populate in here for my inquiry. So that way customers don't have to go input redundant information every time they make a request. It's all preloaded for them. They're also able to update their profile here. So if they recently got promoted to staff sergeant, they can update their rank as well in here. We have 2 types of inquiries. We have for self and for other. So for self would be for me as the customer submitting it. And then we also have for other where you can submit it for someone else. In the Air Force, there's probably about 50% of the population does not sit at a computer all day, every day. They're out either on the flight line or they're out in the field doing work. So that way, supervisors or someone else who monitors, pay for certain personnel, they can actually submit those inquiries for that person on their behalf. But we'll go back to for self. We'll update my rank to staff sergeant. Everything else on my customer details is correct. So I'll go ahead and create my inquiry. In the inquiry details section, we have 2 types of inquiries. We have general and resource management. Our resource management will be sent to the budget and accounting side of the finance office. They're split into 2 parts, so financial analysis and operations. So analysis handles all budget and accounting for the individual installation. Meanwhile, the operations side, though, it would be general type inquiries, and they're the ones who handle some accounting items, civilian pay, military pay, and travel pay inquiries. I'll go ahead, I'll select military pay category, and you'll see my related knowledge graph will populate over here on the left-hand side. So anything that has been tagged with the category military pay, you'll see will automatically pull to the related knowledge graph. I can also search that related knowledge graph. So if I type in department, you'll see all the knowledge articles that have department located in here will be pulled up to the top. I'll enter in my subject, but I'll just say test demo for the subject, and then I'll put in a category or a subcategory. So subcategories, there's a lot of them here. There's a lot of different reasons why people's pay could possibly change or why they need some sort of action taken, but we won't spend too much time on that. But you'll notice once I select basic allowance for housing, I just got married, you'll see a checklist will automatically appear asking the customer to fill out this Air Force Form 594 and attach a marriage certificate. So from there, I can input a description and I can say, just got married. I need to update my housing allowance. So now they have the description, their category, subcategory, and subject. They can go ahead and attach files to upload. So I'll actually go ahead, grab a document here. So this is our PII test document. It has a fake social security number in there. You'll see why once we scroll down and hit the submit button. So once I hit the submit button, it actually will ask us if we want to update our profile details. Yes, because we just promoted to staff sergeant. So I'll say yes. And you'll see here that it actually found PII within that document. So the customer can accept it or ignore it. Either way, we still track the PII or possible PII that comes through the system. It's just asking if that is PII or not for better tracking on our side when creating the PII tracker. So we'll accept that as PII, and we'll hit the submit button again, update our profile, and then now it's working on it. So once it gets submitted, it will take us back to our home screen, and we'll see the related inquiry ID here at the top. So we can see test demo up here, inquiry number 4340, sent to my servicing finance office, and I can see my category, subcategory, the current status, and the number of days it's been sitting in that status. So that's it. The customer has now completed their actions that they needed to go over to the finance office. So I'll actually pull up a finance office user. I'll refresh the page to get up-to-date data. And you'll see I'm logged in as a military pay technician. So I can see all things related to military pay. And my current finance office is the 502 Comptroller Squadron. I'm already defaulted to them as my servicing comptroller. And so I have 306 total inquiries related to military pay that are currently unassigned or actively being worked. I can also click on this tile here to open up the 165 unassigned tickets. And I can also view all 141 active inquiries in the system. We also have some simple bar graphs and pie charts here in the middle. So I can see the breakdown by category. I can see what the status is. So I can see how many are submitted, active, and reopened. And then we also have action pending on inquiries broken down into different date ranges. You'll see here there's a lot that are more than 10 days old, but there are some little slivers you can see here of one that's unassigned, less than 3 days old. Let's scroll down. You'll see the calendar, the announcements, knowledge graph, same thing that the customer sees on their end. The finance technicians will be able to see as well. And if I scroll up to the top, we'll still see the points of contact, policy memos and guidelines, quick links, Q&A as well. There's a few differences for the technicians as well. They'll have a breakdown of their inquiries. So this will take us, so if we click up here on this inquiries tab, it will take us to all 306 total inquiries in the system. We also have a My Inquiries tab. So this is anything that the finance technician has submitted as a customer. Within financial management in the Air Force, they're not able to take any elevated actions on their own inquiries. That's up to someone else to do. There are very strict audit roles within the DoD. So just to make things easier, we make sure that they cannot actually work on their own inquiries they've submitted. We also have a completed inquiries tab. So this is everything that has been completed within the last 30 days. We'll sit in that completed inquiries tab. Once it's in the completed tab for those 30 days, the customers can log into CSP and say, oh, wait, I actually didn't get paid, and reopen those inquiries as they need for 30 days after they've been completed. Once that 30 days is up, they'll automatically move to the archived inquiry section. So this is where the finance office can actually search on specific inquiries from customers. So if a customer comes in and says, hey, 2 years ago, I submitted this to you guys, and I need to submit it again. So you can actually search the archived inquiries for that customer's inquiry and get more background on what actually happened with them. You'll notice at the top, we have a couple different tabs here. We have regular Air Force, Air National Guard, and Air Force Reserve Command as well. So there are some times where the regular Air Force or active duty Air Force will need to assist the Air National Guard or Air Force Reserve Command on some pay issues. So this is where the Air National Guard and Air Force Reserve Command can actually elevate some inquiries to them for their assistance. So I'll go back to our regular Air Force tab and actually select our unassigned tile here at the top. And you'll see once it loads up, it'll have all inquiries that are currently submitted or reopened either by the customer or by the financial management technicians. When they're currently unassigned, obviously they have no one assigned to them. So we actually have the ability to mass assign inquiries to people. So we can actually click on a bunch of different checkboxes next to the inquiries, and we can assign them. So we can assign them to ourselves, so pretty easy. Keep it in the military pay category. We can loop them all into the same subcategory or leave them as is, and then we can click the OK button, and I can have those all directly assigned to myself. I can also assign to someone else. So here I can actually assign it to different categories as well. So if I need to send it over to civilian pay for any reason, I can select civilian pay, and I can actually select the person I actually want to assign it to. So if Civ Pay CPTS CSR1 is sitting next to me, I say, hey, these 3 inquiries came into mil pay. They need to be in civilian pay. I can actually just go ahead and assign it to them directly. If I'm assigning it to someone else, we do have that capability or require the technician to leave a comment. So that way it gets tracked and audited to make sure we know why that person got assigned to that specific inquiry. I will not assign all those inquiries to ourselves quite yet, but we'll go ahead and we'll jump into our inquiry ID 4340 right here. So once the inquiry loads, first we'll go over the middle part of the inquiry and then walk through some of these buttons here at the top. We have inquiry status. So you can see here, the customer submitted it today at 2:15 p.m. Whenever the status changes on this inquiry, the inquiry status roll bar will update. It'll be a continuous roll bar. So if it's going back and forth between the customer and the technician in all different stages, it'll update this inquiry status. And so anyone who opens up that inquiry will be able to see when and where that status updated, and they can see exactly the time and who actually did that updating. In the middle, we have the inquiry details. So section A has the customer details, so everything from their profile will automatically appear here. And then we also have the inquiry details, so we can see the subject, the category, subcategory, and the description of the inquiry. Over here on the right-hand side, we have the checklist. So everything that the customer should be uploading into these inquiries. I can see them right here. So if I'm new to the finance office, I can see exactly what forms are needed from the customer, and then I can view the forms that the customer submitted. So if I actually click on this hyperlink here, it actually opens out the form. I can download it here from my browser to my desktop, or I can actually click the download all button, and it'll download all those files directly to a zip file. There might be a situation where there's 9, 10, 11 supporting documents that are pushed into the files area. So having to download all the zip is a huge capability to have within the system. I also have the ability to add documents as well. So I can click this add button, and then I'll go ahead and grab another document to upload. So I'll grab PII test 1 or the copy, and I can just drag it into here, click the OK button. And once again, it'll flag some PII in this form. So I'll accept this one, click OK. And now I've added a new file for the customer to view. Anytime that there is a file uploaded, a discussion posted, or a status update to the actual inquiry, customers will receive email notifications telling them that whatever action was taken, and they can actually open up their inquiry directly from that email. We also have a team members area. So if I click that team members area, team members will be able to add in documents as well. So you might be asking yourself, what is a team member? Well, team member is anyone that can be added to view this certain inquiry. So whether it is the customer's supervisor Or if it's someone from another finance office that needs to see it, I can actually type in my name here, find myself, click OK, and now I'm added as a team member to the inquiry. So as a team member, I can not only view the inquiry, I can also upload files and discussion posts for all to see. So if you need that cross collaboration between different offices, and maybe some people don't need direct access over all the customer service requests that come through, they can be added as team members and then collaborate that way. We also have a discussions area, so I can click the add button on the discussions. We have two types of discussions. We have internal and customer. Internal discussions will be just that. It's internal to finance users only. So only if you have elevated access to view customer service requests will you be able to see the internal comments. So I can say, customer cannot see, and I'll say, customer cannot see. Click OK. And you can see here that it's flagged as an internal discussion. The customer will not be able to see it. It'll only be viewable to finance technicians. I can also add a customer discussion. So I can say customer can see, and I can actually comment on a specific document. So if I want to say, this document, please sign, please sign block 5, click OK. You'll see the discussion gets tagged as a customer discussion, and it also has a hyperlink to that actual document that can be opened up in another window. So that way the customer can see they need to sign block 5, open up that file, and see exactly where they need to take action. All right, so I'll scroll up, and then now we have all these different buttons here at the top. One thing to, for you guys, your customer service organization may not, directly align with what we have built for the Department of Defense in the Air Force specifically. But these buttons up here at the top can be customized to whatever you need. So one thing that came out after we rolled out the system is that the technicians were asking for a customer action required button. So this button right here, if I click on it and type in my comment and say, please follow directions below and resubmit, and I click OK, it'll actually route back to the customer. It'll ask the customer to make any updates to this, like follow all the directions that you need to follow, and then they can actually make those updates and send it back to the finance office. We will not do that yet, so I will go ahead and delete that. We also have action pending outside of CSP. So CSP itself is just a customer relations system. There's no financial transactions that take place in here. So there are some situations where a remedy ticket or another office has to get involved with solving this customer's inquiry. So the ability to put in a pending action outside of CSP to make sure that those customer service requests do get resolved in a timely fashion, but still keep it open for the customer for your own internal tracking. Pretty simple. Add your comment, click OK, and we'll move it to a different status. We already talked to the assign to button a little bit, so I'll go ahead, I'll open it up. I can assign it to myself, and I'll click the OK button. And you'll see once it's assigned to me, the inquiry status will change. It will be assigned to myself as the military paid technician at 2:27 p.m. And then we also have this live chat capability with the customer. You can see here as a military paid technician, I'm currently logged in. I'm a little green arrow, but the customer, they're currently offline and away. So I can actually live chat with that actual customer. I can say hello. I can go back to the customer page. I can open up that inquiry. And I can see that, oh, the military paid technician, they sent me a message, and I can say hi back. And they can have a conversation. Now that they're both online, they can actually have a live chat conversation with each other. So I'll go back to the technician side. You can see the messages have been updated. The technician also has messages over here on the right-hand side. So they can actually open up other text message conversations or chats with other customers as well. They can talk directly to them if needed. Next, we have the elevate button. So this is where the technician can elevate it up to their manager or supervisor for assistance. So if they want to elevate it up to their manager, they can leave the select user blank, or they can actually select the person they want to elevate these items to. leave a comment for them, and then click OK. And that way it gets elevated up to the correct source for them to assist. And finally, we have the resolve button. So with the resolve button, obviously it'll resolve the inquiry for the customer. So if everything comes in all right and everything's all good to go, they can actually type in their comment, for the resolve, say, hey, you'll see the update on your pay in 3 days. Click OK, and it'll resolve the inquiry. So we can just say, complete for time's sake. Click OK. And now the inquiry has been resolved by the military pay technician. You'll see updates on the running scroll, and the finance technician will have the ability to reopen that inquiry. And then also, if we go back to the technician view, refresh their page, they can also reopen that inquiry, or they can say, nope, everything's good, we can close it out. So if they want to reopen it, we can click this reopen button and say, I did not get paid. They can click OK. And now the inquiry has been reopened by the customer over here on the right-hand side. We'll go back to the technician screen though. We'll go back to our inquiries page. And I'll talk about the dashboard a little bit. The dashboard is a great capability to filter down to what information you specifically need. So if you're looking at a specific unit that you want to help out, so let's say the civil engineering group is going out on a deployment, we can filter to them, make sure all their inquiries get resolved in a timely manner. At any time I need to, I can clear the dashboard filters, and it'll bring me back to my 305 total inquiries. I can scroll down, I can view what's currently unassigned. I can view the 7 that are reopened to include our inquiry 4340 here at the top. I can scroll down, I can see what's currently assigned to me. So anything that I need to currently work on, I can click that and see the 20 inquiries that are currently at my level. We also have it broken down into need to work, customer action required, and pending action outside of CSP. So right now I have no inquiries that are requiring customer action, but if I did, I could just click on that and see which inquiries are currently waiting at the customer's level. Scrolling down, I can also see what has been flagged as a DV customer. In the Air Force, DV is used for distinguished visitor or just a high-ranking person. So general officers are usually the people who are going to be flagged as DVs. We can actually filter to all 19 DVs here. And you can see this little DV flag here on the bottom right-hand side of the inquiry as well. Up here at the top, we also have we actually have notifications built directly into the system. We have 2 types of notifications. We have FYI notifications. So these are just for your information. Not really any action needs to be taken on them, so you can mark those all as red. But we also have the action notifications. So you can see here that files have been deleted from a certain inquiry, file has been uploaded, or manager response has been added. So this is telling me, hey, this is an action on a specific inquiry that I need to review. So I can actually go ahead and click on this notification, and you'll see that we're at 31 notifications right now. But if I click on this notification for 3119, it'll open up the inquiry directly, and my notification count will go down, and you'll see there's probably 4 notifications on that actual inquiry. I can actually use that, and it'll filter down to those, filter out those notifications that now that I've opened it, I've completed those actions. So we always tell people in the financial management community in the Air Force, the easiest way to manage the system is to have the technicians go in and make sure that they're clearing out their belt icons each day to take care of those customers. So that's pretty much it from the operational management of the actual system. But I will pull up one more user. So this person is our overall owner of the system. They can see all the inquiries in the system. They can see all the breakdowns by the categories, by the different statuses, and the action pending as well. But you'll notice they also have the settings button here at the top right. So if I click on that, it'll open our settings area. So this is where you can customize the content for the customer base as well. So this is where you can add the quick links in here. So pretty simple, click the add button, enter the display name you want, the URL, and they can send it to a specific assigned component, or they can post it out to all. We also have the knowledge graph. So same concept, you can come to the knowledge graph, you can click the add button, to add in a knowledge graph. You can actually add files here as well. So if you want to give training slides to customers, you can do that. And you can also flag the different categories. So if you wanted to show only to military pay, you can do that as well. Same with the other content management type items, the Q&A, policy memos, calendar, announcements, points of contact, so on and so forth. That's all customizable for the end users as well. The next thing, which is probably the most important, is the user management. So we make it very easy for people to update certain users in the system. We actually have breakdowns by the different components. We have overall CSP owners. You can see all of our developers and programmers listed out here as the users. But we also have broken down by the components. So we have regular Air Force here. And then we can go to a servicing comptroller squadron. And we can go ahead and add people into these different user roles to add and manage their roles to make sure they have the correct accesses that they need. We really focus on making it easy to give people roles in the system. So you can come up here. I can actually go ahead and add users pretty easy by clicking the add user button. I can type in my name here, Alex Lindsay. I can click the search button, and you can see I have no user roles currently assigned, but I can actually go through the system. I can assign myself as an accounting manager, and you'll see once I select accounting manager, I'm no longer allowed to add myself as a supervisor, technician, or lead technician. It's just redundancies that we eliminate automatically for the user. So I can actually add myself to a couple roles. So I'll add myself as the accounting manager. I'll add myself in as the lead budget analyst, and then I'll also add myself as the military pay manager. Once I click the add user button and I X out of here, you actually see my specific name here with the user role of accounting manager, lead budget analyst, and military pay manager. So very easy to see who's currently assigned to what roles in the system. And then at any time I need to remove myself, I can type in my name here, click the search button, and now I can remove myself from those roles, click remove user, and now I'm currently not assigned to any roles in the system. We also have metadata that can be managed on the back end for you guys as well. We have the subcategories, so if you want to change the subcategories, you can do that, as well as the different organizations, the ranks, the user profiles, so on and so forth. So a lot of capabilities that you guys can get out of managing your own data. So that way we are not on the hook for a large tail at the end of the contract. We really give you guys the ability to manage all the content that you need without us having to go in and hard code anything like that. So that's pretty much it for the demo. Is there any questions out there for us?
Yeah, so appreciate it, Alex. The first question really comes down to, they're curious about how this has helped the Air Force. Like what results, what changes, what kind of benefits did the Air Force see from this workflow?
Yeah, great question. So the biggest thing is that we rolled out the system right as COVID started. We actually accelerated the deployment rollout. We were going to take a year since we were going to be touching over 600,000 users all at once. But we accelerated the rollout during COVID. We got actually through 79 different Air Force installations in 4 months. So really what they got out of it is, one, the virtualness of seeing their customers. During COVID, offices are shut down, people are working from home. It's very hard to interact with customers via email org boxes and just kind of getting lost in the sauce. So a lot of the finance users love this system. They're able to see directly what they need to work on in here. They can see exactly what they're assigned to, what they're not assigned to, where they can pick up some slack in some other areas and help out their teammates. For the customers, this is the first ever virtual customer service system that has been rolled out Air Force wide, and that's specifically for customers themselves. So the biggest thing that they got out of it is just being able to reach their finance office at any time. A lot of people work off hours, what we call swing shifts and mids. So that's working 11 o'clock to 7 o'clock, or working 7 o'clock to 4 or 5 a.m. So just being able to reach their finance office even if they're not open, and then being able to get the email updates and see exactly that their finance inquiries are moving along, which is something that they never had the visibility of. They kind of just dropped off some forms and hoped that they got paid at the end of the month.
Thank you for walking us through that. The other question is about tracking Freedom of Information Act requests. Is that something that's possible through the system or another workflow?
Yes. So if there is a Freedom of Information Act and it comes through the finance office, like I said earlier, we have this PII tracker. So I'll actually open it up here. And in this tracker, like I said, it scans through all the different system and make sure it picks up all the PII, so we can actually go to the audit log and we can actually see today that this inquiry number had one social security number, and you can see who actually uploaded that file. So we can actually see exactly which inquiry it was, if it was a social security number, or just the different types of PII. We have a driver's license here. One classified data was also in here being uploaded. So any time there's a FOIA request, we can actually pull in all the PII, or anytime some controlled unclassified information comes through the system regarding a specific person.
Interesting. Thank you. And the last question we'll go, and then if there's any other questions, Alex can provide his email, but it's about regarding workload analysis. So when managing the customer service team, what kind of analytics or what kind of tools are available to analyze, where are we spending most of our time versus what, help eliminate those bottlenecks?
Yep, great question. So I actually go to our completed inquiry section. For this one, we do have exports to Excel on the completed inquiries, archived inquiries, and the inquiry section. So we can actually export to Excel directly here. I'll open it up so you guys get a little sample of the kind of data points that we track in the system. So we have the inquiry, the subject, organization, so on and so forth. With the big data items that we follow, we actually track the submitted date, reopen date, date of last action, the resolve date, close date, if customer action was required and on what date, when it was returned to the Comptroller squadron, when it was pending action outside of CSP, when it was complete, and the number of days to resolve. So we make it very easy for us to export any data points that you possibly may need from the system, and then put it into your own dashboards, or we can also build your dashboards how you guys want it. We have a full dashboard capability on CSP as well, where they can see their average time to assign inquiries, resolve inquiries, so on and so forth.
Thank you. That would be fun to dig into, being a data guy. So thank you for sharing that, Alex.
Yeah, no
and
problem.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for everyone who joined us, and feel free to reach out to Alex individually. And thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.